Get ready for the flood of GPUs and salty Bitcoin people. PlayStation 5 purchasers may have gotten a free upgrade to the disc version, and Tesla builds one of the world's fastest supercomputers, and it's not in their cars. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your host, Brett. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news that I can find around the internet. In case you want to submit some tech news for me to talk about here on Hot News, you can do so over in our Discord server, which will be linked in the video description. Now let's go ahead and talk about the sweet tears of joy from the people who want GPU pricing to get back to normal, and then the salty tears of despair from everybody who has to give up their mining cards, which is coming because China is having some extra hard crackdowns when it comes to mining in their country, with new provinces implementing lockdowns on mining, which has led to a flood of cards hitting the market, with some of them going down as low as 50% of pre-high levels, with the crackdown in Sichuan province making it so that a bunch of cryptocurrency mining operations had to close down. And if we take a look here at the graphics card pricing in China, we can see that the RTX 3060s are anywhere between 33 and 45% cheaper than they were previously. The 3070 is down 24% and the 3080 Ti is down 5%, although that one just came out. If we take a look at more European data that's coming out as well, prices are also declining for NVIDIA GPUs. At one point, they were 300% above MSRP, now down to a lowly 191% of MSRP. AMD cards also being down from their peak of 214%, but increasing in the past few weeks, going up to 181% of MSRP. NVIDIA GPUs costing more, AMD prices slightly on the increase, but a lot of things you can see on third-party markets such as Mercari and eBay. If you just take a look at the sold product listings, you're starting to see that these cards are going for under $800 on average, and even in some cases dropping below $700. You can see multiple versions of them selling for $690, $675, whereas previously they were selling for an easy $800. It does seem, by all indications that I'm following on the third-party markets, a lot of reporting that's going on, as well as just general data, that number one, GPU prices are improving because availability is getting better, but also because people don't need to purchase them as much for mining anymore, whether that be at home or in large-scale mining operations. Then also, obviously, NVIDIA implemented their light hash rate cards, especially with the 3070 and 3080 Ti. That's making it so those aren't getting picked up by miners. And there's also some speculation that since we're entering into the summer months where people are more likely to go outside and spend their time doing outdoor activities, the demand might not be as high as it was previously, where people felt locked in, especially with the vaccination rate of COVID going up here in the United States. People are starting to resume a more normal cadence when it comes to outdoor gatherings. So a lot of that is just confunneling and collaborating into prices declining. Have you noticed this? I know a lot of people talked about in our Friday episode of Hot News that they're not seeing it, but the data is there. You can't necessarily look at what people are listing their stuff for, but rather what it's being sold for. And what it's being sold for is definitely less than it was previously. Let me know what you think of GPU pricing down below in the comments, but I can tell you, while GPU pricing still might not be a good deal, today's episode sponsor of Hot News certainly is. Today's episode of Hot News is brought to you by Harry's. Harry's is a personal care brand that delivers a close, comfortable shave at a fair price, as low as $2 per blade refill. And they also support great causes, as they give 1% of their global sales to nonprofit organizations. Look, I don't grow facial hair very quickly, so I don't have to shave very regularly, but that leads to some detriments in my shaving regimen, such as me not replacing my blades ever, and so they end up rusty and cutting my skin and making it an unpleasant experience all around. But not with Harry's any longer, because it's convenient. I don't have to go to the store. The razor refills are delivered directly to my door, and I can do it with or without a prescription at the low price of only $2 per refill. And they're great blades. Harry's owns their own factory in Germany, so they can ensure high quality products at factory direct prices with a 100% quality guarantee. I long for the day where I can shave every day, but as long as I grow and as patchy and as weekly as I do, having Harry's with the subscription to just show up at my doorstep to remind me that I need to change my razor blade is such a good thing. So you can get your trial set from Harry's at the link in the video description, harrys.com/hot news, for just $3. The trial set will include a 5-blade razor, a weighted handle, a blade cover, and their foaming shave gel. So big thanks again to Harry's for sponsoring today's episode of Hot News. You can check them out at the link in the video description and get your trial set for only $3. Some more NVIDIA updates, we've got DLSS officially coming to Unreal Engine 5, Linux via Proton, as well as more titles, with NVIDIA having a large announcement of everything that they're bringing DLSS 2.0 to. You can see that at the link in the video description if you want the full deets on that. But some people got new surprising deets when it comes to their PlayStation 5 digital purchase. Walmart made an oopsie where people bought the $399 version of the PS5 and are getting free upgrades to the $499 version of the disc edition, with them saying that it's not going to change anything with regards to their orders as far as shipment dates. They just didn't have enough of the digital editions in stock, but rather can ship out the disc one, which leads people to ask, number one, how are you having extra disc editions? Where is that coming from? And number two, what if I wanted the digital edition? It's the only one that's symmetrical, right? Like, you're free upgrading me, but you're not giving me a choice. I wanted the symmetrical one for my setup. I don't want to have to deal with the bulky. This is making me sad, which I guess you could sell it on the used market, but then trying to buy it, it would be complicated, all right? I'm sad about my free upgrade. And if you want a free downgrade, you can now install Cyberpunk 2077 on your PlayStation, with it coming back to the PS Store after being off for 6 months, with a warning that you should not play this on a base level PS4. This is recommended for PS4 Pro and PS5 versions of the game only. Do not play the game with your PS4, all right? Just maybe don't even play it on PlayStation. The PS5 version, when I tried it, was okay. It crashed a lot more than the PC version. It doesn't seem like they improved very much on the base level PS4. It's just, they're just gonna write it off completely. And that kind of feels like where we're getting with Stadia, but now, good news, Google is bringing Stadia to Android TV. The app is now available on Android TV. However, it doesn't officially launch until tomorrow, June 23rd. So you just get a coming soon message if you download the app. So yeah, you know, I have to say, for as much crap as people give Apple for locking people down in the walled garden and making it so that it's the ecosystem and you feel trapped, at least for the most part, things work cohesively when they're Apple products, all right? You have AirPods, you can switch between your Apple TV, your MacBook, your iPhone, your iPad pretty seamlessly. You can make a lot of things work together. Google can't even implement search on their gaming setup, nor can they even get it on their own freaking TV operating system until so many years down the line. Like, it's so frustrating. If Google had more cohesion, this wouldn't have been such a botched setup, but they just, I guess that's part of like the innovation, is that they can all have their different products that they run off and do, and nobody's talking to each other, and it's just cool and it's innovative, but that's also how we lead to a graveyard of failed products where Google just doesn't support it, and that's inevitably what's coming with Stadia. Its death is soon, and it makes me sad because it had such good promise. And a lot of people might be sad because now it's time for the Cryptostonks update. There is blood in the streets, my friends. Bitcoin down 8.3%. A lot of this coming on the news that China is banning mining in a lot of their provinces, with it being reported that a large portion of mining does take place in China. So as they're getting more strict with all of that, it's leading to a lot more hesitancy in the crypto market. Ethereum down even worse, 12.4%, being under $2,000 for the first time in a long while. Since the end of March is what we're looking at, where it was last below $2,000, and Dogecoin down 25% to being just over 20 cents at this point, it being rough. For the meme stonks, just also a rough day. GameStop barely closing above $200, down 6.4%. AMC down 6% on the day. Honestly, not too bad of a fall, still up at $55, and BlackBerry down and only at 0.8%, not really closing out too hard right there. But Cryptostonks having a rough start to this week. And it's a rough start to the NFT journey, with a lawsuit now happening because somebody tried to sell the rights to a Jay-Z album, and the record label behind it doesn't necessarily like that. Rockefeller Records, which is co-founded by Jay-Z, is suing the co-founder Damon Dash for selling an NFT of Jay-Z's album Reasonable Doubt, because the record label alleging that with the sale of the NFT, the rights to the album are being sold there. However, the seller of the NFT is saying that he's not doing that, but rather selling his portion of the share of records to the person who buys the NFT, and that the administration rights still are staying with the record label and Jay-Z. Anyways, the NFT sale just causing a lot of commotion in the record label industry, and we'll likely see this pop up and up and up, because honestly, what's to stop anybody from selling an NFT of any music album, besides the fact that somebody's gonna sue over it for trademark infringement or just any sort of other copyright laws that might be applicable in that instance. NFTs, complicated, also kind of a fad that has seemed to have quickly died off. But Porsche doesn't believe that electric vehicles are a fad that's going to die off, with them now investing in a company to make custom battery cells. Cellforce is the new battery cell manufacturer company that they're investing in, with them saying that they believe that essentially high performance battery cells are now the combustion chamber of the future, and they better be all in on that, with Porsche going deep. Tesla going deep on AI, with them unveiling their Dojo project with an exaflop supercomputer that's going to be in-house with 720 nodes, with them having 8 of Tesla's A100 server racks, which is going to be equivalent to 1.8 exaflops of total power, with 10 petabytes of hot tier NVMe storage and 640 terabits per second of total switching capacity, essentially them using this to process all of the neural net data that they have coming in from their cars to develop their self-driving. Tesla, as much as you can complain about them not actually selling a product, they are really working hard to get the AI side of the stuff figured out when it comes to self-driving. We might not be there yet, but Tesla making the investment to make that happen. Lian making an investment in my heart to announce the full tower Odyssey X case, which was previously just a concept case. This thing looks absolutely beautiful. I very, very much like it. I don't like the price tag of $499, but you can check it out at the link in the video description if you're interested. Also, beautiful case, probably not gonna buy it. The ZC03M Gundam Case is now being sold in case you're interested in that. But what's also a hefty price tag is the solo sale of an RX 6900 XT liquid cool. It's going on sale over in India, with the converted rate of that card being over $3,000, which is absolutely bonkers. What's also even more bonkers is this $5,000 RTX 3090 from Colorful, the Kudan, being sold, which has a very beautiful custom shroud. I actually really like the intricate work that's being done on it. You can see that it looks really good. And it's also being sold with quick disconnect fittings, as well as a 240mm radiator and a bunch of other stuff, like a giant case that comes with it. It's a very luxurious $5,000 graphics card that you're gonna spend your money on. And are you gonna spend your money on Intel's GPU? You can watch yesterday's episode of Hot News right there to find out more about the Intel DG2. And I'll see you in tomorrow's episode of Hot News, my friends. Cheers.